very good afternoon to you, and welcome to the Predator EuroTour KAMUI Slovenian Open. We are live from Podcetrtek. The game is 8-ball, and our next match is a winners' qualification between PONGERS from the Netherlands and Poland's Daniel MACIOL. It's a race to 8. It's alternate break, but you do get 2 breaks in a row. It's called shot, of course, as it's 8-ball. I'm Mark White, and calling the shots with me in the booth,
Hey Mark, thanks very much. Looking forward to this. Appreciate the partnership. This is going to be an interesting one. Kind of on the up and coming in their careers, both on the EuroTour as well. Last year, research for 10-ball though. Daniel won last year at Tallinn. So should be an exciting match on this one, Mark, I think.
First match covered yesterday. It was just incredible. Match against Thomas Kaplan. It was 4-4 the score after 8 racks, and we'd had 8 break and runs.
Stuff. The contrast to some of the matches we seen yesterday against Alban and the other Dutch lad, Mika van Berkel. There's a lot of problems from the breaks, a lot of clusters, and a lot of missed tables. So we and I both know, Mark, it can go very different every game of 8-ball. Straight away yellow, all around. Solids look to be the option there. Yes, we have 2 solids on the right hand side, but they're a pretty good combo. You will have to solve the problem with the bottom right end of the table. We just have pretty okay here, all things considered.
The stripe here for the one into the side, slightly long angle. It's just underhit that by some margin, hasn't he, Graham?
Yeah, he might do a little bump here. He could even squeeze past, so he's going to have an option here. Combination he wants to play it. He'd love to be a little bit straighter on it, so he might be playing this one down the rail first. Get this tricky one out of the way.
It's made the combo slightly more awkward now. He would have been much better on it if he was straighter in. It's made it kind of missable now.
Yeah, he's also going to have to hold for position. If he catches it pretty straight, he can 2 rails come back for just needs to avoid the 12. He's missed it by some margin there, Mark. He didn't catch that correct at all.
Yeah, when you're not right behind them, it's very, very awkward.
Pretty open table for Daniel here. And now that Yannick has taken a few of the balls off the table, it's always dangerous when you miss towards the end of your run. You leave a wide open table.
I really rate this guy. Rate him up there with Conrad Musician, the Butcher, of course. All lefties.
Yeah, I do like Daniel's approach around the table. Always very calm, picks his shots methodical, and his pattern plays is very, very strong indeed.
There's a real belter over on table 2 as well. Mario He up against his fellow countryman Albin Ocean, an all Austrian clash over there, guys. That's available on Billiard TV as well.
So first blood to Daniel. Yannick did have a chance there. It wasn't a straightforward table. Had a little bit of manoeuvring to do. Just didn't really get good on that combination. And in the end, he left a wide open table for Daniel to pick up the pieces. And it's just what you want as a starter for Daniel. Takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and you really need to be winning your games on your break in 8-ball, especially when you do make a ball.
That was a good split. Yeah, no real complicated balls.
Only open for his opponent. Dry break from Yannick there. Not what the doctor ordered.
It's a very nice layout, really. Just connecting the dots, trying to get rid of this more trickier ball at the bottom, and then work his way a little bit up the table. Don't see any real problems here at all. Mark is great little opener to get a 2-0 lead here.
Yeah, and his 2 breaks to come, and from yesterday we know how dangerous he is. Such a straight cueist.
Yeah, he's also just so calm. So calm.
He's the same when you talk to him as well, you know, he's got such a great temperament on and off the table. Super nice guy, Graham.
He's just going to stop shot here, and this is where the pattern play really, for me, shows his strength. It always shows when you have a pretty straightforward. Last ball to the 8 ball. Just shows his knowledge around the table, and very calm and collective. Takes a 2-0 lead, and this is how the break format can work in your favour if you can punish your opponent. So every player will have 2 breaks each. That's the format. 2 breaks for one player, then we switch to the next player. There is a shot clock in operation as well. We have 1 minute after the break, and then a 35-second shot clock with 25-second extension should the player choose to use it, which I think is great for 8 ball, because as you know, Mark, people can sometimes get paralysis by analysis in 8 ball. There's so many options. Even Yannick in his interview yesterday said it's his least favorite discipline because of that. It's just too much to think about. So yeah, the shot clock can definitely work in favor to get on with it.
Yeah, that's what he was doing yesterday. Ball in the side pocket, controlling the cue ball.
A few problems down the bottom of the table here. He does have a solid opening shot. He does have a long stripe should he wish to choose it, but he will have to figure something out with that solid next to the 8 ball there. There's a couple of options if he wants to go that route, or he could take a bit more of a trickier opening stripe and try to do something with that way, but yeah, that 6 ball is a bit of a problem. Could even attack it now, but he's hoping for a bit of fortune if he does go into it. Yeah, he's opting for the more difficult starting stripe, because the 2 stripes at the bottom of the table, the bottom one must go, so it gives him a little bit more ability to run out, knowing that he can pot that one and probably make something happen down table. So it was a good opener there.
They can play the 12 here.
Yeah, I like that. Attacking it straight away, Mark, really, it's a good option. It's always better to try and get your problem balls out of the way as soon as possible. You have to punch this a little bit, maybe 2 rails back up. How's the pace? It's a bit short. He does want to take it on. He could be flicking into the 8 ball, so he might still go for that and open the 8 if he chooses. Yeah, he's looking at it.
Yeah, it's definitely the shot, isn't it? Would be very unlucky not to be on one of his last 2 stripes.
Yeah, the risk is if he hits the 8 ball relatively thin, the cue ball could run a bit high up the table. Needs to slow down. Oh, the 6 ball, he's played that really well. Really well. He's got a nice angle as well to put where his cue is there. Come down for his last stripe in the side. A very easy connection to the 8 ball, I think. Good shot that, Mark, it was.
He's got plenty of power, but what I do love about him is his touch game is very good as well. Rarely hits the ball hard, Graham. I think he's the all-round player, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good observation. I think the reason why you hardly see him powering shots in is because his positional play is just very strong, and you often see that. I know it's a player you and I have talked about a few times over these previous events, but Tobias Pongers comes to mind. Looks like he hardly hits the ball because of his pattern plays being so strong. I'm very impressed when you see players just rolling them in.
It's funny you mentioned Tobias Pongers. I made a little note earlier on while we were waiting for this match to start. We've got Yannick Pongers, we've got Tobias Pongers, and we've got Quinton Pongers.
Well, we know two of them are related, that's for sure.
Yeah, Quinton actually plays quite a lot of Chinese 8-ball these days. I've seen him at a couple of events. He's the older brother. But I think Yannick is, well, certainly at rotation, I think I'd say he's the slightly better player. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask them both, I'd probably say each of them is as good as each other. But I think, in summary, they're both very dangerous. Very strong pairing from the Netherlands. Dangerous. Obviously showing in winning a EuroTour and winning multiple medals. Same for MACIOL. European Championships, they've been very strong, winning all kinds of things. So I can only see these players going from strength to strength the more events they play.
Yeah, Yannick as well, a world junior champion. I was there in Austria, in Klagenfurt, to see him lift the trophy. Super talented.
Probably have to say as well, this is really, other than the first rack, it's probably his only really chance he's had at the table so far. The solids aren't too bad. A little bit of connecting needed. There's a little bit in between here, but he might have to open them up. Needs to judge this.
Oh, he's lost the cue ball. That's okay. Could have been a lot worse than that, Graham.
Yeah, I'm surprised he went a little bit heavy on the power. I think if he kept the cue ball around the bottom part of the table, he still had a shot, but it's worked out not too bad. Yeah. It's all going to come down to the solid that's next to the 10 ball. That's going to be the one. Not sure where it goes, Mark, to be honest. Maybe the side, if he can get good position on this 4 ball. Oh, he's playing for it now. Two-way shot. He's overhit it though. I like the thinking. You see what he tried to do there. He tried to put himself in position for both of them, but now he's in a bit of trouble. Needs to pull out a shot from the 6 ball here.
Yeah, that's a touch shot, isn't it? It's a real feel shot that he's just tried to play there and just not quite feeling it just yet, maybe. Overhitting by quite some distance as he did the shot previous as well, Graham.
Yeah, I think it's just down to table time. MACIOL has really kept him in his chair pretty much, so trying to thread the needle here. It's not a bad effort. Doesn't want to go past that into the stripe though.
Oh yes.
Yes, in no man's land. He can't see either. He's been very unlucky. Even if he was a little bit lower, he had the solid into the side as well, and to be fair, Mark, he's landed in the worst possible spot.
Just wondering, can he jump for the 7? It's probably his best option. It's a pretty good jump up. He's called the 3, or the 4 rather, in the side pocket.
Oh dear. A little bit of a frustration, hit and hope there. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he had an easy option, but not much he could really do.
Yeah, he does get a bit emotional sometimes. Wears his heart on his sleeve. I don't mind that, as long as you can control it as well. You don't want to let it ruin the next time you come back to the table. So he's got to put it out of his mind.
Yeah, he definitely can get a bit hot-headed maybe, but like you say, sometimes it can work in your favour. It can fire you up, or hopefully it's not a negative one where it can have a detriment to your game. But I tell you what, Daniel will be more than happy to pick up a ball in hand here. He puts it straight in a place to get rid of a little bit of a more trickier part of the table, and to be honest, this is bread and butter for for Daniel, Mark, isn't it? I mean, he doesn't really miss from here very often.
No, can't see it. Actually, don't think it'll be too long before he wins something big. Got to the final of the Predator Puerto Rico Open, where he was beaten by Carlo Biardo in the final in 2023. Plenty of EuroTour success.
Yeah, fully agree. Fully agree, Mark. There's always a funny statement where you think is someone overdue. I mean, he's won medals and, like you say, European titles. It has to be only a matter of time before he snaps off a big one. But still, let's not, these events in EuroTour are still very tough to win. The fields are very impressive, incredibly tough. Filler winning the first two and Fortunski winning the last one. The field is just as strong. Granted, we don't have maybe Americans and a lot of the Asian contingent in these kind of events, but let's not be fooled. The European level is extremely high, and there's still a nice little 6,000 first prize up for grabs. I'd definitely be happy to take that home, Mark. I'm sure you would.
I'd be happy with last 16, mate. I would. Yeah, great stuff from the pole here. Really does look classy, doesn't he, MACIOL?
Yeah, everything to do for Yannick here. 4-0. And really under the pressure. Just bouncing the ball off the top cushion there, thinking maybe did he get a bounce or anything, but I just think he put a bit of a stroke on it, Mark. I feel like he probably overhit it. Due to what you said, he's just maybe not had enough table time or settled. It was a very tricky finesse positional shot, but there's the hit and hope. Yeah, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, frustration showing, wasn't it? There.
Yeah, that's the difference with 8-ball and rotation, and when you've only got one ball to play at, you can put a bit of focus on to try and get that safe. But it's a perfect example of Daniel had 7 balls to go at no matter what happens, so to get a safety shot from those moments. I like your call on the jump, Mark, to be honest. That was probably more of a favourable option. At least give it a go.
Yeah, he didn't even look at it, which surprises me because he's pretty good with the jump cue. Made a ball again, which is, well, that's something, isn't it? Round and round she goes, and the clock won't stop or start again until that cue ball comes to a complete stop. Lots and lots of spin on it, just shows he didn't hit it accurately, but he made a ball.
Yeah, I think he made 2 actually, which is always a nice when you get a few down. Looks like he's going to be, yeah, he's torn. He's thinking, do I take the long stripe down the rail, or do I take the easier solid? Still a little bit of work on the solids, but the table is relatively open, even though there's a little bit of congestion. There's quite a bit of space to move the cue ball around.
He doesn't want to start beating himself up if he doesn't quite get position where he's playing it. So talented, can put his way out of trouble. Just needs to. This 2-ball and the 7-ball, they're the key ones in this rack, aren't they? Play for the 4 here into the same pocket, or the 2.
Yeah, I think it's important what you said there, Mark. Yeah, it's important what you said. I mean, even though 4-0 looks, a bit scary on the scoreboard, with that 2 break per player format, if you win your breaks and your opponent has a dry break and so on, you can swing very quickly. You just need to capitalize on your opportunities, and unfortunately he's putting himself into a bit of trouble here again. He needs a big shot on the 1 or some crazy combo.
Body language looking so negative at the moment. Looking at the other table when he's sat in his chair, he's watching Albin and Mario. Just lost a little bit of focus at the moment, I think.
Yeah, he definitely has. I think he's a little bit, yeah, it's getting in his head a little bit. Not saying he's on full tilt, but he's very close, I think, to just losing his way a little bit in this match. And if Daniel can really turn the screw here, which he'll be hoping to do, just be interesting about this 10 ball and the 13 down there. I'm not sure what options he has from this view, but it looks like they're definitely potable in a couple of pockets, so just needs to work out the puzzle. I wonder if the 10 goes in the side as well as an option.
I mean, the only good thing that happened in that last shot was him missing that one ball, travelled round the table and did come and block one of the pockets for the 13. So there is some positive to take out of that shot for Yannick.
Yeah, actually, my apologies, I said 13 as well, Monk, but it's the 9 ball, I think, just above the 1. My eyes are deceiving me sometimes on these screens, but he's going to play a little bump maybe here. It must go past the 1, you know. I'm wondering, it must still go. But it's all going to come down to this 8 ball, because clearly you can see it's definitely blocked in a few pockets. It does go in the bottom right. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, looks like Daniel, he's relishing this challenge, isn't he? Again, perfect angle to go where he wants with a cue ball here. So there you see it does go. If he gets a nice angle on that 9 gram, he can just stun up for the 8 into the bottom right hand corner as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because I don't know if the solid is a problem to get to that part of the table, but maybe he seems to think he's going to bump into the 7 maybe and leave the 8 in the side. You can just top this through, kind of switch places for the cue ball and the solid. That would be ideal. Yeah,
it's perfect, isn't it? He's seeing it all, isn't he, at the moment? Good stuff. Really, really do enjoy watching this guy. When I saw that we got this match to commentate on, I was rubbing my hands together. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have minded Mario He against Albin Ocean as well, of course. There you see Mario, the panda, in the background. Still lots of action to come for you today as well, guys. From Slovenia, there's that 1 ball again, was a little bit of a snatchy swipe.
Yeah, just on that other table, Albin is 3-2 up against his fellow countrymen. Looks like they're locking horns.
Yeah. Well, I was looking for that match and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I've just found it. Yeah, it's always going to be close, that match, isn't it? Very hard playing your friends.
Yeah, definitely. And the speed. Yeah, the speed that Yannick got down there tells me that he's just going to try and shoot the lights out. To be fair, he did put 3 stripes, which means that the table is quite open, and as you can see, there's 3-4 solids all pretty close to the corner pocket, so it's all about clearing the top of this table and getting down to the 2 solids next to the 8. He's not hanging around here,
stroking. He's one stroking at the moment, isn't he? He's kind of just, right, I'm just going for this. Let my talent speak. I'm not going to think too much about it. Just do what I've done a million times before. Just pot the balls.
To be fair, it was a very good break. Didn't really have to, even though it looks like he's playing without a care in the world, it is a very, very straightforward run out. What do you say, Mark? 45 seconds, maybe a minute max on that one?
Yeah, that might be worth a highlight reel rack all of its own, mightn't it?
Incredibly fast.
It's Cesca Centino-ish. See the MACIOL. Swipes the chalk. So the first of his 2 breaks. Could put himself on the hill with those 2 as well.
Yeah, he would definitely like a 45-second or a minute run out like Yannick. But oh, what a great break. Look at that cue ball. Absolutely parked. Unfortunate little bump there. At first glance, the balls look pretty wide open. The one ball on the bottom rail, I think, was available as well. So look at that cue ball, Mark. Absolutely parked. Very good.
Yes, exactly how he was breaking yesterday. Making one or both of the balls into the side pockets, those wing balls. If you're wondering, guys, why there's no template or triangle being used, it's the table is tapped, which I was never a fan of, but I am now, simply because they can rack the ball so quick, then they're tight consistently as well, so keeps the game moving and always gives a good spread, as you can see from there, and consistently. So I'm converted. I'm now a fan, Graham.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I think it's great, and it's always a funny debate. You know, people feel like you're damaging the table or doing something, but it doesn't really impact at all. And the Magic Rack definitely has benefits also in its own right, but I think then you have to remove it from the table, and there's all different pros and cons of both ways. For 8-ball, yeah, this is definitely the way forward.
I'd actually like to see more tournaments doing it, to be honest. I really would. So he's off and running again.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you took the words out my mouth. The way these balls are lined up. Play this one in the top. He's a little bit off angle there. He would have liked to have been straighter so he could draw this back and play the 9 in the side next before the 11. He might have to change his path a little bit, depending if he can pinch it. Yeah, he's going to roll this one forward. Or he's going to leave an angle maybe. Come off one rail. Yeah, he's taking this one at the end now. He's in the zone, Mark. He's definitely in the zone for me. Completely focused and dialed in here.
Just doesn't look like missing. Always leaving himself that beautiful angle on the ball as well. He's overran that slightly. Might just be slightly hampered with his left arm. My right arm, rather.
Yeah, the good thing is, though, the 8-ball is just a little bit to the left of where the triangle would sit, or the stack, so you can just finesse this screw back down table just by the middle pocket, or even punched it in.
Impressive stuff. Out of his seat just to help Daniel get the balls out of the pocket, like the gentleman he is. He'll be hoping to get out of his chair for a shot in this next rack, but if Daniel can break the same as he did in that one, will be on the hill, and Yannick Pongers in all sorts of trouble. This is winners qualification though.
This is the thing with 8-ball, Mark, in this kind of format and how good these players are. I feel like where we are right now with 6-1 and Daniel breaking again, the match is kind of in Daniel's hands really. Yannick is hoping that something falls off on the break of MACIOL, because he's got a couple of innings, if you like, to try and close this match out, and you would fancy him to at least make a ball somewhere. So it's all in the hands of the pool gods, I think, at the moment.
Oh, look at that cue ball again. Wow. Dead in the centre of the table, stopped it. Tremendous break again from the bowl.
It's a little bit like a tempo break, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, a little bit of a pop. Tell you what, Tim de Ruyter, our fellow commentator, he wouldn't be able to find fault with that. He's our break guru. He's Tim de Ruyter. He loves a bit of pop. Daniel will be hoping after the pop he won't stop.
Yeah, he's a little bit indecisive because both solids and stripes have a little bit of a congestion around that 9-ball, 3-ball space. And there's also a... This is something
though that he was doing yesterday, Graham. You mentioned at the top of the show that it's 60 seconds after the break, and every time he's been using that 60 seconds, and I once heard Jeremy Jones talking about that, and he said he doesn't understand why more players don't take the full 60 seconds, because you know you can't get time back, and it's a good opportunity to have a real good look round, and if I don't quite get there, I'll still be on that one, and maybe I've got to change that one a little bit. Just use up the time, you know. Very, very wise what Daniel's doing there.
That's great advice. It's free time that you're entitled to, and I could understand in maybe 9-ball, 10-ball, etc. But in 8-ball, you have so many different ways to go. That's why you have a little bit of extra time. Yeah, take it. Take advantage of it, and then get down and execute. Oh, this is a good pace shot here. Very nicely done there. Might even try to get on this red 3-ball here. Just don't know if he can leave himself straight enough. That's what he's lining up. He's a little bit off angle here. Doesn't mean that he's not in a bad shape. He can go down below. Yeah, just lining up there. You can play it in the top right corner and leave the 1-ball to the end. It's probably going to be the choice. Needs to go. It's not bad. We'll have to draw it a little bit, Mark. I don't think a stop shot would have been ideal, but I don't know if he can just stop it. He might have to pull it a touch back.
Yeah, this is so him, isn't it, this shot? It's kind of a trademark for Daniel. Long straight, draw, lots of feel. Draw it back about a foot. Just nothing can go wrong with that beautiful cue action he's got. Everything is so straight. He's on the line, his elbow is in line, his head, bridge hand, everything beautiful straight line. And this is going to be the arrival at the hill for Daniel MACIOL. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and if he can keep this up, we've got to make him huge favourite, as if he isn't already, for the Slovenian Open. Tremendous stuff.
potting machine at the moment. I can imagine him in practice. He must get absolutely sick of potting balls. Just non-stop. Flawless.
And of course, that's a big thing, isn't it? It's very, very easy, we think, to come out and just perform when there's a nice audience watching you, you're on TV. But it's all those hours when no one's watching, and you don't want to do it sometimes. But the great Michael Jordan said, it's the days you don't feel like doing it, where you've got to get out and do it. We can all do it when we feel like it.
No, wise words. I didn't want to interrupt you when you were talking. I was just about to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Yannick gives this full tilt and something could go crazy wrong. I could just sense he's just so frustrated with this match. But in all fairness, Mark, he's maybe had a couple of chances, but MACIOL has been just absolutely flawless with every chance. These stripes are looking very tasty.
Wasn't until the 9th rack, I think, yesterday, that a ball was missed, and that was missed by Thomas Kaplan. And then Daniel missed one ball as well, but he only missed one in the whole of the match and had a couple of dry breaks. Apart from that, he was flawless.
Aside from losing
on the floor. Yeah, I was going to say, it's been on the floor, hasn't it? So maybe a few carpet hairs on it or something. Daniel just making sure it's nice and clean, Graham.
Yeah, definitely. I think even though the cue ball flew off the table, Yannick hit the break so well, the balls have spread. Well, it's as good as you really want, to be honest. He's got a nice angle here to get rid of this 10 ball here. Just come across the other side of the table. Needs a bounce off the cushion. Yeah, and he's got options. Just personal preference. Does he go to the left side of the table? Does he go right side? Where does he want to put the 8 ball? That's going to be in his mind right now. What's the best 3-4 shots that he wants to take to make that 8 ball as easy as possible?
Well, 3:15 is our next scheduled match. And I can tell you the latest in the Albin Ocean Mario He match is 4-2 to Albin at the moment. But this looks all but done, doesn't it, Graham? It's been a masterclass. Everything perfect. His cue ball has been immaculate.
Yeah, it really has. I think masterclass is the word, and he's had that cue ball on a string. Even just this shot alone, he's just going to definitely leave a little bit of angle on this 9 ball, I'm certain. There you go. He's actually maybe a touch straighter than he would have liked, but there is a gap there. You can either choose to run it past the solid, or maybe even just stun it a little bit across to the right below the 5. Yeah, it's pretty straight, but threads the needle mark, and as you say, all she wrote.
Yeah, well, I can honestly say I've not seen a better performance than this in a little while. It's basically what he did last night, just where he left off, this 8 ball then. And there it is, the handshake. I'm sure that Yannick won't be happy with the way that